It is 5:30. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Fargo Board of Education. Please, if you're able, stand and join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Next, I would look for a motion to approve the agenda. Yes, Jim?
I'll move adoption of the agenda with the addition of the human capital addendum that was located at our work location.
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Jim and seconded by Namal. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say yes.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Great, thank you. Agenda's approved. Next, we'll move on to our recognition of the audience. At this time, the board will hear comments from the public. We ask that each speaker who has signed up to address the board state their name and home school district for the record. Speakers must refrain from using this forum to criticize or complain about a specific employee or student by name. Vulgar or profane language will not be tolerated. The board is interested in your comments and will listen carefully, but is not obligated to respond to or debate issues in this forum. This evening, 3 speakers have signed up to address the board. Each speaker will be allotted a maximum of 3 minutes. Upon conclusion of the allotted time, a chime will sound and the speaker is asked to conclude. If necessary, a final chime will sound 15 seconds later, signifying the end of the speaker's time at the podium. I will now call our first speaker to the podium, who is Devin Stachinsky.
Devin Stachinsky, HMR. So before you, I took the liberty of printing off the metrics from that's listed today on Fargo Public Schools website and DPI's website for math, reading, science, graduation. You know, most of the important stuff that most parents really care about. So it really makes me wonder, and I don't know if you've just not seen these recently or just don't regularly look. When you have 28% proficiency in mathematics, your numbers, not DPI's numbers, and you say in your formative assessment of the superintendent's performance that, quote, "At this time, the majority of the board members see no areas that would require redirection or increased emphasis. It was noted that Dr. Gandhi should stay the course and continue to champion the needs he sees fit." Now, 28% math, 44% reading, and 40-ish% science. One would think that there would be, something to actually redirect towards. However, you state, "The board solidly believes Dr. Gandhi is meeting or exceeds board expectations and continues to do an outstanding job leading our district." Now, if my underlings, which the students would technically be the lowest rung of the underlings here, were 28% proficient in whatever job they were doing, there would be consequences, and that would be in any job capacity. He is well connected and has his finger on the pulse of things happening in other districts and around the nation. His finger should be on the pulse of this district and how abysmal these metrics are. Because I always talk about them, I felt it important to actually print them and hand them to you today, because I feel you don't believe me every time I talk about them. Bless you. Dr. Gandhi is laser focused on what's best for our students and the results we have identified in our strategic plan. What plan? This downward trend is not a plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Paul Moore.
Paul Moore, I'm Fargo. So I was going to talk a little bit about a couple of things. Compliance issues, EL3 it's listed as, and the patron complaints. Fargo Public Schools welcomes the advice of parents and citizens on ways the schools and students can be improved. This district expect employees to offer prompt and considerate, consistent treatment of all citizen concerns. Well, that was interesting. Therefore, when a complaint is made to an individual board member or the board as a whole, it will be referred to school administration for investigation at the lowest available authority. And ensure quick referral, prompt investigation, and implementation. I thought that was interesting, because I'm going, I don't get any of that. So then I found this little form here. I have a question. So evidently, if I don't fill out this little form, which is the one you ranked yourselves 9 out of 9 on, is you don't respond. So I've got 2. And in the end, I kind of wonder, where do I put them? The first one, it's allegedly today for witnesses. Go ahead and see the video. Reviewed and approved EL3, failed to provide effective handling of complaints at 100% compliant. So verbal questions or contact all school board members on the website appear to not be equal to this form. Okay, so I understand how semantics work, and so this is the form you recommend that we use. So here it is on this form. So tell me in the suggestion for remediation, tell me and others how you want to receive this form. And the second one, allegedly conducted on 17 October. Also today, see video for witnesses. EL4, subsection 3, part B, provide for effective handling of grievances. Although not standard, a motion can be presented in the negative. A motion, majority of the votes went to support the union. Then a vote may only be reconsidered by a person from the majority that was present on that day. If there has to be a motion to reconsider, and then if passed, then the original motion may be taken up again. Process does not constitute guidance on how to resolve workplace concerns, which is the part of EL4. So maybe we should change EL4 3B and reissue support with the union with a full apology. So, and I need to know where to put my forms.
You can put them with Anne Marie for now. Thank you. Our last speaker is Tegan Lee.
Hello. Good evening, members of Fargo Public School Board. My name is Private First Class Lee, and I stand before you today with immense gratitude and pride. I want to take a moment to express my sincere thanks to Fargo Public Schools for playing a pivotal role in the shaping of the man I am today. Your commitment and excellence in the student-focused education has made a long-lasting impact on my life. My journey began at Bennett Elementary and then Discovery Middle School, where band teachers such as Mr. Lucht, Mrs. Stotts, and Mr. Salzer ignited a passion for music within me. Their guidance in sectionals not only enhanced my technical and musical abilities, but also fostered the confidence that is often challenging to find in middle school. The collective experience in large group music settings taught me the beauty of music, creating moments of fellowship and teamwork that fueled my passion for excellence and love for music. Moving on to Davies High School, I found continuing support from teachers like Mr. Brandenburg and Mrs. Strage. Their mentorship was instrumental in helping me discover my calling to serve as a musician in the United States Marine Corps. I appreciate the dedication of the Fargo Public Schools to cultivate well-rounded individuals to becoming choice-ready, recognizing that education extends beyond textbooks and classrooms. I commend the school board for providing resources to middle schools and high schools, specifically the music programs that contribute to the development of such well-rounded individuals. Reflecting on my personal growth throughout middle school, high school, and even boot camp, I am grateful for the community that had nurtured me and shaped me into the person I am today. I know there are many demands put on the school districts across the nation, and I'm so proud that my school district continues their commitment to our middle schools and high school music programs. Today, I stand before you as a proud member of the United States Marine Corps. In the Marines, we live by the motto, Semper Fidelis, which translates to always faithful in Latin. I extend this statement to commend each board member for the unwavering support of education, particularly in the realm of music education at the Fargo Public Schools. Your dedication has not only influenced my journey, but also continues to impact the lives of countless students. In closing, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to Fargo Public Schools and the school board for the role you've played in my life. Thank you for your commitment to education, for fostering well-rounded individuals, and for contributing to the vibrant community that has shaped me. Semper Fidelis.
Thank you so much for sharing that. All right, moving on to our report section. Robin, do we have any legislative reports?
No, we don't. This item was added due to the special session, and the special session is no longer here, so we will take this off the next agenda.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving along to our FEA report. Mr. Kraft.
Thank you, President Birkeland and members of the board. At the most recent meeting of the board, which was a special meeting to approve the teacher contract, a comment was made about the association, which I have the privilege of representing as its president. I believe this kind of comment made during a public board meeting deserves a response in the same setting in which the original comment was made. There are two parts to the association's response: the facts and the perspective. First, about the facts. Mr. Johnson said at the last meeting, "My ask to the FEA going forward is please petition earlier. There is no reason we cannot get this done in a timely manner." The reality of the facts is that there are multiple factors that delayed negotiations. Number one, early in the process, we agreed to attempt a more collaborative style of negotiations, which both sides understood would likely take additional time. And it did. We sat down with the board in September of 2022 to begin laying a foundation for the upcoming negotiations. We also worked diligently on our side, behind the scenes, to ensure that a negotiations committee was in place, which was representative of most of the teachers who we were serving. Building that committee takes time, as does the work that the committee does once committing to serve on it. Number two, regarding that petition that Mr. Johnson spoke about. The fact is that FEA did petition earlier this year than we had in recent cycles in an effort to expedite the process. Despite not having all of our topics solidified, the FEA submitted a petition to negotiate in early November. FEA was then surprised when we learned that the petition, which followed a similar format, the very same format as previous years, was now deemed unacceptable. The problem was not that we waited to petition. We petitioned in early November. The problem was that your body had retained legal counsel for the first time, and that now was requiring signatures, physical signatures, of 50% plus one of the district's 1,157 teachers. That had never been required in the past. The process of collecting those signatures delayed the start of negotiations by several weeks. Later in the process, the board's decision to retain in-house legal counsel would continue to cause delays to the process. It was the FEA's assumption that when coming to agreements at the table, the language agreed upon would have already been reviewed by the attorney in a caucus. However, on several occasions, when expecting to sign off on tentative agreements, the FEA was presented with legal concerns about the language, or in some cases, language that was substantially different from what was agreed upon at the table. This significantly slowed progress. Number 4, environmental factors also delayed our progress. There were 3 regularly scheduled meetings of negotiations that had to be canceled due to our unrelenting winter. A 4th meeting was called short due to weather concerns. These unexpected interruptions contributed to a delay in negotiations at no fault of either party. There's no blame to cast for where we live. And number 5, the final piece that delayed negotiations was the board choosing to not accept the FEA offer in late June to keep negotiating or to drop a remaining topic to allow for resolution. Dropping that topic in late June would have resulted in changes not that substantively different from what ended up being the final agreement. And it would have saved the district about 4 months of time and more than $4,000 in associated fees paid for assistance throughout those 4 months. So the bottom line on the facts is that the FEA does not bear the full responsibility of the delay, and it's wrong to publicly shame FEA leadership that as if the date of our petition is what led to starting the year without a contract in place. I am happy to take ownership where I can and to have the association look at what we can do differently going forward. But the board must be equal partners in looking at how your actions also contributed to the delays. Now, for the second part of the association's response, the perspective. Mr. Johnson also said, the concerns I have is the retroactive payment. This adds additional expense and burden to the district, and it's not required. He says it's certainly a gift from the board to our teachers, and he goes on to say, quite frankly, if it comes to me again in the future, I won't be supporting retroactive payments. Let me be very clear. Back pay from the district is not a gift. I and many of the educators that I represent were pretty stunned that a board member would make this comment. When I heard these comments, I was angry. And perhaps by the length of this response tonight, you can tell that I still am. I don't take lightly comments like these made in a public setting by an elected official who should be held to high standards. I was grateful for the support that I saw in a letter to the editor. I want to read that tonight because I think it eloquently provides a good perspective on these comments. It's titled, "The Gift Was from the Teachers." It says, with all the strikes making headlines in the country lately, the automobile workers, actors and writers, Fargo public school teachers, oh wait, they didn't strike. They kept working without a contract. Wow, that's strange. How many of us would continue to do a difficult job without a contract, or knowing what you're going to be paid, or the specifics of your working conditions? If you think about it, the gift Fargo School Board member Jim Johnson talked about was real, but the gift was from the teachers to the community and the Fargo School District. That was submitted by Hardy Koenig at Fargo. You see, I would rather my time speaking to you from this podium at a public board meeting be about the hard work our educators are putting forth each day, the work that you heard about from the previous speaker. I'd rather that my time be spent highlighting things like the FEA Educator of the Month, or reminding you of things like tomorrow being Educational Support Professional Day as part of American Education Week. You know, all the good things, the important things that we are doing to support our educators and our students. However, I cannot and will not be a silent bystander when observing any board member hold contempt for my organization or the educators we represent without any allies on the board standing up on our behalf to critically question or refute the comments made. So board members, I call on each of you to self-monitor what you are saying and the effect that those words have on educators. Furthermore, hold each other accountable for comments and harmful rhetoric that misrepresents the truth, especially when you don't agree. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to our administrative report, Dr. Gross.
Well, thank you very much. For our report tonight, I would just like to draw your attention to a document that's at all the board members' table. This is the 2022-23 annual report. This document provides information for you about student enrollment, about staffing, about services provided across the Fargo Public Schools, and talks about student achievement data as well. Not only is it in hardcover, which is in front of you, it's also available for all of our community to access by going to our homepage. And once you're on the homepage, clicking on the About Us link, which is on the top of the page. Over then on the left-hand side will come a red box, and in there, our staff or community click on Annual Report. They will be able to read this report online, or there's a link as well to click and get a PDF download of that. So just wanted to, again, draw reference to the document that's in front of you and let you know that that's available for all of our community to review and get the information. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions or comments for Dr. Gross? Great, thank you, appreciate it. Okay, moving on to our consent agenda, I would look for a motion. Yes, Robin?
I move approval of the consent agenda with the Human Capital report.
Thanks, moved by Robin and seconded by Seth. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, please say yes.
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 Any opposed, same sign? All right, thank you, motion passes. Moving on to our business section, we'll start with business item 7A, which comes to us through memo number 71. As you're now familiar, North Dakota Century Code requires us to conduct an evaluation of the superintendent prior to November 15th. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted your very thoughtful responses. To kick off any discussion, I would look for a motion. Yes, Jim?
I'm going to move that the board approve the formative assessment of the superintendent indicating satisfactory performance and place a copy of the report in the superintendent's personnel file.
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Jim and seconded by Nikki. Any discussion? Yes, Greg.
I want to thank Anne Marie for compiling 9 different people's disparate comments into something that is easy to read and reflective of all of us.
Melissa did that actually.
Then I would like to rescind my appreciation for Anne Marie and thank our President Birkeland.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, seeing none. Anne Marie, could you please call the roll for us?
Holden,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Christensen, yes. Clark,
Yes.
Day,
Yes.
Gullickson,
Yes.
Birkeland.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Motion passes. Moving on to item 7B. Yes, Jim.
I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session for the purpose of discussion on potential property sale as provided under North Dakota Century Code 44-04-19.1.
Second.
Thanks. Moved by Jim and seconded by Nikki. Any discussion? All right, seeing none. Anne Marie, could you please call the roll?
Johnson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Day,
Yes.
Gullickson,
Yes.
Holden,
Yes.
Berkland.
Yes, motion passes. We will move into executive session. If we don't have anything to project, I think we'll stay here. So And we'll move on to item number 8, our board reports. And Robin will begin with you this evening.
Thank you. I have been busy. Let's see here. I attended the C3 Tech meeting, and then our Governmental Affairs Committee meeting met, I should say. And then I had the pleasure of visiting my 2 liaison schools, Centennial and Clara Barton, today, which Clara Barton, that's the home base for Clara Barton Hawthorne. Some fun notes that I made here. Principal Olson and I were discussing about how long Centennial has been around. And I said, what, was it the 1990s? He goes, 1989, the year of the North Dakota Centennial. The reason the building was named that way. So I thought, oh yes, thank you for the reminder. So we had some nice discussion, a very in-depth discussion about some academics that they're working on there. And then Clara Barton, I met with Mrs. Folden today, actually, and she described to me some of the nuances between navigating PLCs between split campuses. And they only have 17 shared minutes after school for PLCs, so they would be they're very thankful for the 2 8-hour days per month that they can do PLCs. Also, the Husky Hutch, we talked about that. That is kind of a repository for donations that are fed out to the district for all the elementary buildings. And so a lot of counselors and Swifts come and basically shop for families that are in need at the Husky Hutch. And then their holiday store is coming where all of the students will be able to purchase items for $1 very soon. So a lot of good things happening at Clara Barton Hawthorne. And then I attended the PTO meeting today at Centennial, and a lot of the things were reiterated that Principal Olson talked about. So I've had a good week already.
That is a good week.
Thank you for letting me share, and I'm going to depart.
Sure.
I have a social event to attend.
Thank you so much. All right, Seth, do you want to go next?
Just since the last regular meeting, attended North Dakota School Boards Association conference, and then had a special board meeting, and I think due to the results of that special board meeting, I have not been very busy since the past week, and I'm pretty thankful for it. So we got the contract signed, so I'm have a pretty light report. So that's it. So thanks.
All right, thanks, Seth. Namal, would you like to go next?
Fun. Well, just like Seth said, I attended North Dakota School Board Association, and then after that, I was hospitalized until last Friday. So it was fun. Thank you.
I'm so sorry to hear that, and I hope you're recovering quickly. So thank you. All right, Jim, do you want to go next?
I too was at the special board meeting and the state conference, and I actually had a 3-on-3 with cooperative strategies with Namal, and Robin snuck into ours just to get updated a little bit on where we are on the facility steering committee community engagement process. And that's it.
Thanks so much, Jim. Nikki?
Thank you. Yeah, I had ours was, I think, we had 2, I think you and I did it together. November 2nd, the visit with cooperative strategies regarding facility steering. And then November 6th, special meeting. November 7th was GAC. And then October 26th and 27th was the NDSBA. Thanks.
Thank you. Greg?
Yeah, like others have mentioned, special meeting, NDSBA met with cooperative strategies for their long-range planning. I had a one-on-one meeting with Dr. Gandhi last week, Government Affairs Committee, and yesterday I went to Washington Elementary to attend their monthly staff meeting and to get a tour of that building. And wow, that was the first time I'd been in Washington Elementary, and it looks so much better and cooler and bigger on the inside than the outside, which isn't to say it looks bad from the outside, but like it's a very misleading building walking up to it. It is I was very impressed with the inside of it.
Great, thanks, Greg. Katie?
Yeah, along with the rest of you, I attended the North Dakota School Board Association Conference and the special meeting, also attended a GAC meeting and the Cooperative Strategies meeting. Outside of that, I attended a Dia de los Muertos potluck at Discovery Middle School, which was really delicious. I also attended Annie, the musical at South. I watched the Spartan football team win the state championship, which was really awesome. And then today, I thought it would be insightful to shadow a custodian. So I met up with Keith at Discovery Middle School at 6 a.m. this morning. We emptied a bunch of garbage and we installed menstrual product dispensers in bathrooms and filled those up. I helped out with lunch, like all the cleaning and stuff that goes along with that. And I think I had about 10,000 steps very, very early in the day. And that was even after sitting through 2.5 periods of observing class. So it probably would be significantly higher than that if I didn't get that little break. But I will say that probably the number one message that was told for me to bring back is that they like it when you shadow them. So if you have any desire to shadow a teacher, a para, nutrition staff, anyone, they're very, very happy to share their jobs. And they were just really proud of Keith and everybody else, they're very proud of the work they do and really loved having board members in their building. And that's all I got.
That is really, really great. I'm so impressed, and thank you for sharing that. Okay, so I was also at the North Dakota School Board Association conference at the end of October. And then on 11/2, I had my cooperative strategies meeting with Nikki, and we learned a lot about the district. It was almost an overwhelming amount of information, but that's good. And Friday, November 3rd, I had my one-on-one presidential sit-down with the president of the FEA. On November 6th, I didn't participate really. I watched Anne Marie give a fantastic presentation on the inclement weather policy through a town hall, and she did a good job, and I think we have a good policy. And then tomorrow, I'm going to attend the community meeting for our long-range planning. Tomorrow evening, it's at South High, and then on Thursday evening, it will be at Davies. So I would just encourage you and anybody watching to sit and listen. And I think I'm very anxious to hear how our community is responding to this. So that is all I have. Our next regular meeting date is November 28th. It is 6:25 p.m. and we are adjourned.